Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. There's been another Wolf game update. Alpha game is still going on, but now they have introduced cave game. This is going to be where you find different things throughout all these caves. They just released the white paper like 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to go through all of this with you, everything that's been revealed so far, and everything that you need to know as far as I've learned from this white paper before they even open up cave game. So sit back, crack open, I guess, a milk based on what it's saying in the game. Enjoy a carrot and a sandwich, and let's go. All right, as usual for these videos, let's start by taking a look over at wolfgame.live. This is Scarly Warley's site. He made this. It's a nice place to kind of take a snapshot of where everything is. Right now, the current price of wool is 12 cents, 12.93 cents. The floor on every one of the assets for the wolves and the sheep is sitting right here. This has come way up from where it was this morning. These were at like 0.8 this morning. Obviously, they've been fluctuating throughout the entirety of alpha game as it's been going along. And farmers are 0.56, land is 0.24, seems extremely cheap versus all the other assets in the collection. And the cheapest wool pouch is at 0.48. You are going to need wool for this part of the game. Let's start with what they were teasing on the Wolf Game Twitter account, right? So they started with this on like March 14th with shadows of the farmers running through the cave, a little bit of a poem. Here's another cave with a level 6 sheep running in there. There's no magic button to simply reveal farmers. This was the first clue that something was coming. He showed you this with the 2 sheep going down into caves. This one presenting a little bit of a gem, putting it in the pile. He started with the different, there's above average Jane. These are going to be the rare farmers that you get if you are to get a gem. They have the kid. They've introduced some are rare, some are mighty. This is 100 years. There is Diesel. There's Big Daddy. There's like a Big Mama one as well. If you guys wanted to find a place where you could talk about all of this stuff, go over to OpenSea and search for Smizzgang HQ, or just go to smizzle.tv /HQ. It'll take you to OpenSea to the Smizzgang HQ key. That's our private Discord where me and all the other members that hold this key talk about everything that there is to talk about in terms of NFTs. And specifically, we have a Wolf Game category in there as well for all of our holders who play this game. Now, taking a look at the white papers, let's start with the gems white paper, because this is kind of where it started. Here's all the lore that goes into that. You can go here to wolf.game, click on white papers on top if you wanted to read the entire thing, right? I'm not going to read you all of the lore. But the TLDR is important. Burning a gem guarantees that a player's farmer will be rare upon reveal. So there are 5,000 of these gems that will exist, and there's over 11,000 farmers in circulation right now. So basically all of these gems are going to be found within cave game. Gems come in 6 different farmer types. The 7th and most common farmer type is not represented as a gem. So there will be like 6,000 and change of just the common farmers, but that doesn't mean that if you don't find a gem, you won't get a rare trait or a rare farmer. You're just guaranteed one if you do find a gem in this portion of the game. Burning a gem with an unrevealed farmer before a specific date, there will be a deadline for this, guarantees the player that type of farmer displayed on the gem, other than the type and the farmer's remaining traits, are randomized and from common to extremely rare. So there's still ways that if you don't get this, or if you don't get if you get a Big Daddy, if you get a above average Jane, whatever they are, they're not all going to be the same within that class. They're going to have different features, just like the sheep and the wolves, and every other NFT collection has these different ones. So this is going to be a different way to do a reveal, right? Instead of just, well, let's just reveal it and randomize what you get. You got to earn this stuff. This is a play to earn game. So there's a submission deadline. All of the things for the rules of what you need are right in there, right? So like basically if you find yourself a gem and it's a Big Daddy, you have to burn that gem with the unrevealed farmer that you have in order to get, when they reveal, you will get that Big Daddy farmer as your farmer, or 100 years, or Big Mama or whatever the other ones are called. The names are fantastic. Kudos to the Shepard for that. I giggle every time I say them. Any gems that are not used before the deadline will not have future use. Okay, so if you find one in this cave game, you have to do it. So as it said here, discovering gems to be announced. They just announced it. Here's the cave game white paper. The 14 packs arrive at their 14 respective caves, which means that alpha game is still going on. So if you are somebody who has played alpha game, you'll find it right here. Here's all the different alpha wolves, the alpha 8 wolves, and they have different sizes of packs. So Real Crypto Coach, Crypto Corey, has 292 wolves in his pack and 1,075 sheep. And then the smallest pack would be here, Malcode ETH, with 39 wolves and 252 sheep staked. This is going to be important. So there's 14 different caves, and wherever your sheep and or wolves are staked within alpha game, that is the cave that you are going to go searching around and mining. The TLDR, all staked sheep and wolves will be eligible to play cave games. So all of the ones that are not staked, and if we go back to Wolf Game Live, we got, what, 577 non-staked Gen 0 wolves here. Or sorry, there's 10 that are for sale right now. There's 2 7s that are for sale right now. These are all the ones that exist. There are 8,900 Gen 0 sheep, 52 of them. Most of the assets in this game are staked, and they're going to dry up really fast, especially these Gen 0 and Gen 1 floor sheep, as people can utilize them, as we're going to get into here in just a second. Each pack will compete, amongst themselves in their own unique cave size proportionally to the pack. So the bigger the pack is, the larger the cave system is going to be. I would assume that the larger packs will have more gems in their caves, but you're going to have a much bigger space to go and search for it. And if you are competing against more people in your one pack, there is less likelihood that you might end up with one. So especially if you have maybe 2 sheep in Corey's pack, it's going to be harder for you to come up on a wolf or come up on a gem than if you have, like, you know, a couple of sheep in Malcode. You have a higher chance of getting one of the few gems that are in there because you're competing against less people. In theory, this is all theoretical because they have not opened the lobby yet. Uncover a fixed supply of gems, wool, merch, and more. These are the things you're going to find in the cave. 14 caves, each pack will have its own cave. Once a sheep or wolf has entered a cave, it cannot switch caves. So you know that you can switch teams in alpha game. You take from what, if you say, well, I want to be on this, my team's in 10th, I want to switch to the second place team because I might get more points that way, I might get more wool that way. At the end, you get that wool pouch at the end of alpha game, but you lose the points that you had accrued while staking on that original team. Once you enter the lobby in a cave, you could switch your sheep and wolves to another team in alpha game, but you cannot switch to another cave within cave game. So I know that that's a little bit weird, but there it is. To enter cave game, you must be staked. Go to alpha game, stake your assets. Most of you already have if you're playing this game. Entry in lobbies. All players will begin their hunt in the lobby at the center of their cave. This is where it's going to get interesting. In addition to the lobby at the center of each cave, where every NFT begins, there are other smaller lobbies to be found throughout. So you're going to have to go spelunking and find different corridors that are going to lead to those different caves. You may navigate these areas. Lobbies have 2 distinct features denoted by a lighter color floor, the areas without using energy. So the ones where you don't have to bust through walls, you just kind of walk around and search for stuff. There might be things on the ground. Like they said, merch, they had a little hat on the Twitter account a couple days ago. They announced that there was going to be merch here, like a woolish hat. Kind of want the woolish hat, to be honest. And maybe hoodies and maybe other stuff. Who knows? Merch. Shopkeepers can be found in the lobbies. You saw a picture of it if you watched the Wolf Game or the Cave Game trailer. This one. It's like a minute long. It's very dramatic. Extremely dramatic. They have a cutout of them here. They have the merchants in there. You spend your wool on all these different items that are in the cave, and you're going to find these things. We'll get to that in just a second. So your sheep and wolves have a finite amount of energy. to utilize every 24 hours. Sheep have 100 max energy, and they replenish their energy, 1 energy every 14 minutes. So every day they will get you back to that 100 by the end of the day. Omega Wolf go up to 125. Delta Wolf, the A6s, go to 150. 7s go to 175. And an Alpha Wolf has 200 energy every single day to spend. Now that's important because to break a wall, a sheep and a wolf can both kind of headbutt the walls to go break through them, right? We talked about how you can just roam the cave on the easy part. If I scroll up here on the Twitter feed, you can kind of see this wolf just kind of running around on the lighter colored floor. And if you see around you, you only get to see a certain amount. This is kind of like the game Among Us, if y'all played that one, when the lights go off and you only see a specific amount around you, or a very small amount. It gets into which items are going to allow you to see wider, so you can maybe see behind walls and know where you want to break through and what items you're going to need to break through those walls. So a sheep can break a wall, but it's going to be stunned for 30 minutes. So if you have one sheep and you're like, well, I want to break through this wall, you break through it because you see something on the other side, you're going to sit there for 30 minutes. This is where having multiple animals in one cave is going to help you. A wolf, it costs 20, but there's no stun penalty for them. So if you have like an Alpha 5, you could break through a wall, break through a second wall with a headbutt, but it's not going to have that stun penalty, and you could keep moving through the cave to find those different items. There's going to be wool on the ground. There's different power-ups. A cave holds a variety of power-ups may be discovered on the hunt or purchased from the shopkeepers for wool. Some of these are found, some of them are purchased. Now, NFTs cannot hold infinite power-ups. So you can't just say, well, I'm going to burn all this wool and buy like 50 bombs. You can't do that. A sheep can hold up to 2 power-ups in their inventory at a time, and wolves can hold up to 3. Now, to get these things, like a carrot, mentioned these in the intro, and a glass of milk, these are not available at the shop. Neither is a sandwich. These are just to get you more power on one day. You find it, you eat it, you can do more things with that animal on that one day to try and find yourself some cool things inside the caves. There's a headlamp, gives you visibility of 2 squares in every direction, but they're blocked by walls, so you can see, but you can't see through stuff. Heat goggles, these show you how many other players have traveled over a certain square, lasts for 24 hours, cost you 170 wool. This wool just gets burned, will no longer be in circulation, it just disappears. Reducing the full amount of wool that's out there. It's a deflationary tactic to try and keep the price of wool up, or to drive it up, as it was going to get burned anyway. That was always going to be a part of the game. Dynamite breaks all walls in a 3x3 radius around you and is a one-time use, cost 160. A bomb breaks all walls in a 5x5 radius around you, one-time use, cost 300. So a little bit more efficient than using dynamite. A detector gives you visibility for 1 square in every direction, even through walls. Lasts for 24 hours, costs 190 wool, so you can see through walls to figure out if you want to break through. You see a gem on the other side of a wall, you know you should just break through that one and go grab it. And a pickaxe allows you to break a wall without spending any energy or becoming stunned. I think that sheep are going to be spending their wool on these because the lack of stunning that is out there. 200 wool for each one of those. Usable in breaking a wall, one-time use. So people who only have 1 or 2 sheep, if they want to get the most mileage out of their sheep and not have to sit there after trying to headbutt a wall and wait for 30 minutes, they can buy 2 of these pickaxes for 400 wool, burn that wool, and give themselves 2 walls that they can break through to find other caves, other lobbies, maybe new merchants or special items on the ground. Now, there's a lot of different things on the ground in these games. Once a player leaves the lobby, they'll be pitched into darkness. Can't see nothing no more. Player will be able to see other players' movements, will not be able to see other players' movements around them, nor squares near them. But when a player claims an item found in the cave or breaks a wall, that is reflected across all other players' gameplay. So you'll be able to see, I don't know if they're going to have maps. I don't know if we're going to have to make our own maps, but I guarantee you within each one of those Alpha 8 groups, there is going to be a mapping system, or maybe people are only going to break off and know their own maps because they don't want to let anybody else see where it is if it is not a part of this game in and of itself. Now, any gems, merch, or other NFTs discovered in the cave. So it's not just hunting for gems. You're hunting for the merch or other NFTs. There's going to be more things in the cave. may be immediately claimed on the blockchain. Gems and merch are both ERC 1155 NFTs, and wool found can be claimed in a pouch at the end of cave game. So you will be able to just find loose wool sitting around in a cave, and wool equals money, not just in the game, but IRL too, as you can swap it out or use it for the game as you choose. So lots of ways for us to play to earn here. It's very exciting. Another hyped up period for Wolf game has started. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you like this content, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and go check out that smizzle HQ coin. And I'll catch up to you later. Bye.
He's a legend.